All right, while we are waiting for others to join, we are trying to explain the external hedging method. You can use forward exchange contracts as an hedging tool. The forward exchange contract is a binding hedging instrument. You can use money market hedging. You can use money market hedging as an hedging tool. For money market hedging, like I explained yesterday, it's about borrowing and lending to protect the company against fluctuation in exchange rates. For money market hedging, a company can either borrow or lend. Now the question is, at what point will you need to borrow? Like we explained yesterday, there are two aspects to transaction. It's either you are making payments in foreign currency or you are expecting inflows in foreign currency. If you are to make payments in foreign currency at a future period, that represents a foreign liability. If you are planning to hedge, you are going to create an equivalent foreign asset to hedge the foreign liability. If you are making payments in foreign currency at future period, that to the company is a foreign liability. To hedge using money markets, you are going to create an equivalent foreign asset. That is, you are going to deposit an amount now. The amount deposited plus the interest received on your deposits must give you the payments you are planning to make at future period. Let's expand that with explanation. Our company based in Nigeria, we want to make payments in dollars. In 3 months' time, we are making payment in dollars in 3 months' time. And we want to hedge using money markets. That payment we are making in 3 months' time, say $20 million. That payment is a liability to our company. Now, to hedge using money market, we are going to create an equivalent foreign asset. That is, we are going to place a deposit in dollar today. The amount deposited plus the interest received on our deposits must equal to $20 million in 2 months' time. So you are going to deposit an amount now. The amount deposited plus the interest receivable on your deposits must give you the $20 million payment you are trying to make in 2 months' time. That is money market hedging. In that case, you are placing an investment. You are lending. Alternatively, if you are expecting inflows in foreign currency at a future period, our company based in Nigeria, we are expecting inflows from our customer in US. The customer in US will give us 50 million US dollar in 6 months' time. That transaction represents a foreign asset. We have a foreign asset we are expecting. To hedge, we are going to create an equivalent foreign liability. That is, we are going to borrow an amount in dollar today. The amount borrowed plus the interest received on, plus the interest payable on our borrowing must equal the amount we are expecting, the inflows, the expected inflows in 6 months' time. That is the concept of money market hedging. We explain this. We talk about currency futures, currency options, and currency swap. We have been able to take, on the online class, we have been able to take one question. Let us look at more questions on this topic. I'm trying to get some people to join the class. Let's go to the question. Let me take question. I want to see to 2 questions within this 1.5 hours. No. We have answered this question. I'll come back to this. But I want to take, where are these people? Let's look at question. Let me look at this question. Question, yes, question 4. Let us look at question 4. Some people are having difficulties joining the class. I'm surprised.
So let them log out and log in again.
Okay. Because now question number 4. You worked with a major oil servicing company in Nigeria with headquarters in the United States for the past 6 years. Recently, you completed your ICANN examination and has been asked to join the International Treasury Department in New York City for a 2 years attachment. If you look at that, okay, thank you. If you look at that first sentence, the company Treasury Department is located in US. Therefore, dollar becomes our domestic currency. The company's International Treasury Department is located in New York City. Therefore, dollar becomes your domestic what currency? The company is due to make payments. The company is due to pay a UK supplier the sum of £5 million in 3 months' time. Therefore, pound sterling becomes the foreign currency. Your team is considering alternative method of hedging the expected payment against adverse movement in exchange rates. Exchange rate information. United States dollar per pound sterling. I have the spot rates. I have 1 month forward rates. I have 3 month forward rates. Please look at the exchange rate information. United States dollar per pound sterling. What kind of quotation is this? Direct or indirect?
Indirect. It's a direct quotation.
This is a direct quotation. The Treasury Department is located in US. United States dollar becomes domestic currency. The quantity of domestic currency required to buy 1 unit of foreign currency. Dollar is our domestic currency. Pound sterling is the foreign currency. This is a direct quotation. We have the futures markets. Contract size, £62,500. Quotation, dollar per pound. Direct quotation. You have 2 month expiring contracts. And you have the price for 2 month expiring contract, 1.9305. You have 5 month expiring contracts. We have the option markets. In brackets, £31,250. Contract size. Premiums are quoted in cents per pounds. You are given 3 exercise prices. You have the call option. You have the put option. You have 2 month expiring call option. You have 5 month expiring call option. Same apply to the put option. You are required to advise the company Which of the following hedging strategy should be adopted for the payments due in 3 months? Show your workings. We have forward contracts, currency futures, currency options. I need to deal with this quickly. I need to deal with this as quick as possible. I want to hedge with forward.
Sorry, Mr. Asiwaju.
Yes, please.
Sorry, that's something I want to really understand. I want to understand what I like the questions written here, how I can start, to go about it. Now, the exercise price, what does the exercise price? Is it like the price that the option will be in this number of in a 2 months expiration date and the 5 months expiration dates?
Okay. Now that when we get to currency options, we explain that exercise price will come to play if you are dealing with currency options. It will not affect. That's why the examiner gave us clarity. Look at the information for forward contracts. Look at the information for futures market, currency futures. Look at the information for option markets. Now, the question you have asked me has to do with option market, and that is when I'm dealing with currency options. Let me take that again. You have asked me a question that has to do with currency options. And I have 3 hedging methods. Examiner says I should use 3 hedging methods for these payments. I should use forward contracts. If I'm dealing with forward contracts, my attention will be on information on forward rates. I don't have business with the other information. If I get to currency options, if I get to currency futures, I will now look at the futures market. If I now get to currency options, I will now look at the option market. So the question you have asked is, how am I going to start? Definitely, examiner has given you 3 hedging methods. You are going to start with the first one. The first one is forward contracts. If you are using forward contracts, you don't have business with exercise price. Your company based in US want to make payments in pounds in 3 months. You now want to hedge that payment with forward contracts, forward exchange contract. You don't have any business with currency futures and currency options if you are hedging with forward contracts. If you are done with forward contracts, you now move to currency futures contracts. You now pick information relating to currency futures contracts. If you now get to currency options, you now pick information relating to currency options. Is that clear, man? Hello, man.
Yes, sir.
So please let us take the hedging instrument. We know we have 5 under external hedging method. We have forward exchange contracts. We have money market hedging. We have currency futures. We have currency options. Then we have foreign exchange swap. Examiner can tell you to use any of these 5 for hedging. The question we solved yesterday, the question involved forward contracts and over-the-counter currency options. The question we are starting with today, it involves forward contracts, currency futures, currency options. Is that clear, please?
Yes, sir.
So let us take it. When we get to that currency option, we now try to explain. You can ask your question again so that we approach it as the examiner has given us. All right, let's start. Please confirm you can see my screen. You can see the whiteboard being shared.
We can see your screen, sir.
I can see your screen.
Okay, great. This is my page one. My page one. My page one. Now, I want to edge with strategy one. For strategy one that we are using is, we are using forward contracts. Like I said, if you are dealing with hedging, determine the domestic currency, determine the foreign currency. This company is based in US. Dollar is the domestic currency. The company is making payments in pounds. Pounds is the foreign currency. Examiner gave us something like this. Examiner says, exchange rate information. Examiner says, United States dollar per £1. This is a direct quote. You don't need to write this in the exam. I'm just writing it to explain. This is a direct quote. We are making payments in 3 months. Okay, also look at this, please. I will now focus on forward contract information. I have the spot rates. I don't need the spot rates because I want to hedge with forward exchange contracts. I'm giving 1 month forward rate, but this is not relevant to me because the company is making payment in 3 months. I will now look at this 3 month forward rates. I'm giving 1.9223 to 1.9339. The 3 month forward rates, 3 months forward rates. I have 1.923 to 1.9339, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Want to make payments in pounds. The exposure, 3 months time, we are making payments of £5 million. Now the question is, am I going to use the low rates or the higher rates? You now pause. You need to determine the buyer and the seller. Our company based in US, We are making payments in pounds in 3 months' time. That means we are going to approach our bank. We are going to buy pounds. Bank will sell pounds. That means the customer is the buyer, the bank is the seller. Now, given a direct quote, at what rate would the bank sell pounds? Given a direct quotation, at what rate would the bank sell pounds?
At higher price.
Thank you. For direct quotes, bank buys at low rates and sell at higher rates. You now pick the higher price. You now come here. Applicable three-month forward rates is 3-month forward rates. There's rates here is 1.9339. Expected payment cost in dollar. United Time expected payments cost in dollars is, the next thing is, am I going to multiply or divide? If you are dealing with direct quotation, you are going to multiply to get the next currency. I have 5 million pounds and I want to convert it to dollars. I will convert at this rate. This rate is binding. This is the binding rate. Look at it. I will now multiply by 1.9339 to get the dollar amount of my payment. Please multiply. What is the dollar amount?
$9,669,500.
Thank you. 9,669,500. That means as of today, you know the dollar amount you require to meet your 3 months pounds payments. That means as of today, you are based in US. You know the dollar amount required to meet your pounds payments in 3 months' time. Regardless of the exchange rate in 3 months' time, this is the amount you are going to use. 9,669,500. You are done with forward exchange contracts. You are done with strategy 1. Is that clear, please? We can move to strategy 2. If there is no question, we can move to strategy 2. If there is no question, we can move to strategy 2. How do we determine the buyer and seller? Is to ask yourself a question. In this question now, imagine that you work with the international treasury. You work with this company. Your company is based in US and you want to make payments in pounds. What are you going to do, please? You are going to approach your bank in US. You are going to be buying pounds. The bank will sell pounds. That means for this question specifically, the customer is buying pounds. Bank is selling pounds. You are going to look at the question. There's no way to say this how to cram who is the buyer, who is the seller. What is the examiner texting? In this question, examiner is texting payments. So tell yourself, Gloria, my company want to make payments in pound sterling. What are we going to do? We are going to approach the bank. My company will be buying pounds. Bank will sell pounds. That means my company is the buyer, bank is the seller. Aha. We buy, bank will sell. So at every question, you are going to be asking yourself, okay, what is the company planning to do? Company is planning to make payments. That means company will buy, bank will sell. All right, that's great. We can move to strategy 2. We can move to strategy 2. Please confirm you can see the new whiteboard being shared. Yeah, okay. That's our page 2. That's our page 2. Page 2. Here we want to use currency want to use currency futures. Want to use currency futures. This involves steps. I will start with the step 1. Determine whether the company will buy or sell futures. Part of the step says, do we buy or sell futures? To answer that question, we now need to analyze to ourselves. Our company is making payments in pound sterling. That means we are going to approach the bank to buy pound sterling. Our company is making payments in pound sterling. We are based in US. That means we need to buy pound sterling futures. You have to answer that question. Your response will be the company we buy pounds futures. The company will buy pounds futures. The next question to be addressed: how many contracts do we require? Number of contracts needed for hedging. Number of contracts. Number of contracts. To calculate this is equal to exposure divided by the contract size. Our exposure is the 5 million pounds. We are exposed to making payment of 5 million pounds. Our exposure, if you take it here, is equal to 5 million pounds divided by the contract size. Let's go back to the question. Now you are look at it. You are dealing with futures market now. Please look at the information. You are dealing with the futures market now. Look at the contract size. Contract size of 62,500 pounds. That was why I tried to answer Madam Blessing that, look, take the hedging strategy one by one. Now you are dealing with futures market. Contract size is 62,500. I will come here. Go back to my working board. The contract size 62,500. Calculate number of contracts needed, please.
$80.
That will give you 80 contracts. You have answered that aspect. We now move to 3. Which expiring dates are we going to use? Which contract expiring date are we going to use? You now come here. Go back to the question. We are making payments in three months' time. The transaction date is 3 months' time. The contract expiring date we are going to use is that contract that matures immediately after the transaction date. Transaction date is 3 months' time. That means I cannot use 2 months expiring contracts. Because this contract, 2 months, it will expire in 2 months. I have not even made the payments. You now look at that contract that will expire after 3 months. The appropriate contract to use here is 5 months expiring contract. That contract that will expire after 3 months. You now go and write it out. You come here. We use, when I say we, I'm referring to the company. The company, we make use of 5 months expiring contracts with, there's a price quoted there for 5 months. There's a price for 2 months. Look at the price for 5 months, 1.9170. That is the opening futures price. That with opening futures price of 1.9170. You need to state this fact out. For each of these questions you answer, examiner will attract mark. What next? Like I explained, examiner will hardly give you the closing futures price. I've gotten the opening futures price, but examiner will hardly give you the closing futures price. What next is to estimate your closing futures price. What next? 4, estimate closing futures price. How do we do this? You start with your basis. Basis is equal to spot price minus opening futures price. What is our spot price? The spot exchange rate. Now go back to that question. Look at the spot rates. I have 1.9410 to 1.9531. I need to select one. How do I know which one to select? You now try to look at the buyer and seller. Assuming we are making the payments now, what is the spot rate we are going to use? You now ask yourself, our company based in US, we are making payments in pound sterling. We are going to approach the bank. We are going to buy pounds. That means bank will sell pounds. It means that my company is the buyer, bank is the seller. Giving a direct quote, at what rate will the bank buy? Sorry, giving a direct quote, at what rate will the bank sell?
The higher rate, which is 1.9531.
Thank you. Bank will sell at the higher rate. You now pick your spot price. 1.95. My basis is equal to 1.9531 minus my opening futures price, 1.9170. What is the basis? Check out the difference. 0.0361. That is your basis. What next to do? You need to determine unexpired basis. I need to determine what? My unexpired basis. Unexpired basis. How do I do this? How will I do this? We have selected 5 months expiring contract. We have selected a contract for 5 months. But when are we going to make payments? We are going to make payment in 3 months. That first 3 months is called expired basis. The contract we have selected is for 5 months. We are going to make payment in 3 months. The first 3 months is known as the expired basis. The remaining 2 months is known as what? The unexpired basis. And I want to compute my unexpired basis. This basis is for 5 months. 0.0361. The first 3 months is expired. The remaining 2 months is unexpired. That becomes 2 multiplied by 0.0361. Compute your unexpired basis. That will give you 0.01444. Please reconfirm.
Yes, please. That is it.
You have gotten the unexpired basis. You can now estimate your closing futures price. Closing futures price is equal to opening futures price plus unexpired basis. I can move this down small. This becomes my closing futures price becomes futures price is equal to, I'll take my opening futures price, 1.9170 plus unexpired basis, 0.01444. Please work this out. What do you have? 1.9170 plus 0. That will give you
1.93144.
144.
Yes.
Once you estimate your closing futures price, that becomes your lock-in exchange rates. This becomes the lock-in exchange rates. When we say lock-in, this is the rate we are going to use for this payment now. This is the rate for this payment. I can manage these aspects. Let me see if I can get a space. I can cut out these aspects. I can cut out this aspect to complete the question. Because there's no space down there again. I can cut out this aspect. This is my rate now. This is the futures rate now. I can now say payments cost in dollar. No, black. Payments cost in dollar is equal to, I want to pay 5 million pounds. Multiply by the lock-in exchange rate. It's a direct quote. I need to multiply 1.9314 444. What is the dollar require? That becomes 9,657,200. That is the dollar required. You are done with your currency futures. You are done with your currency futures. This is the dollar required. You can now ask, we didn't even use number of contracts. Out of all these things, we didn't use number of contracts. But please note, whether you use it or not, you are still going to indicate number of contracts. Examiner will mark, examiner says, show all your workings. Examiner will mark each of these. The examiner will mark this out for you. You are done with the second hedging method. So please, let us carefully study this. Now the third one. I don't understand. What is it that we don't understand? We need to be specific. What is that aspect that I don't understand? The second solution. Why do you say Ama? Because if I've said now, say lecturers, the person say I don't understand second solution. So there are two ways to interpret it. Start again. Or use another question to also explain. The first thing is, there is a step we itemize. Were you in class yesterday? Yesterday, we itemized the step for currency futures. What I have done is to just take that step. So I wouldn't know if you're in class yesterday, but yesterday we itemized the steps for currency futures. It is the step. I started with step 1. Do we buy or sell futures? And I ask myself, I want to make payments in pounds. That means I need to buy pounds futures. Step 2, number of contracts needed. To calculate number of contracts needed, the exposure divided by the contract size. I pick the exposure, 5 million naira. I divide it by the contract size. I move on. Step 3, I said, which contract expiring date to use? I want to make payment in 3 months' time. I'm giving 2 contracts on the question. I have 2 contracts. I'm giving 2-month expiring contract. I'm giving 5-month expiring contract. Which one am I going to select? I want to make payment in 3 months. If I select 2-month expiring contract, it does not make sense because I've not even made my payments. I'm going to select that contract that mature after 3 months. I selected 5-month expiring contracts. Next, I calculated closing futures price. So please, maybe you need to look at this step. I estimate, look at it, that the company will make your 5-month expiring contract with opening futures price. The futures price is given to me here. I pick it from the question. Next, estimate closing futures price. How will I estimate? We stated this step yesterday in the classroom. I've estimated using the step. I'll calculate my basis, get my unexpired basis. I will now calculate opening futures price. I will now estimate opening futures price. That gave me 1.93144. That becomes my lock-in exchange rate. That is the rate you are going to use for that pounds payment. I want to make payment in pounds. I'm based in US. I need to convert pounds to dollar. I've converted to dollar. 5 million pounds multiplied by the lock-in exchange rate. That means the dollar amount is 9,657,200. That's what we have done. That's what we have done. May God give us better understanding. Please, maybe you need to refer to what we discussed yesterday. They are not in class yesterday. We need to go to the option 3. Please confirm you can see my whiteboard. I will now go to page 3. This is for currency options. Now, we now focus on the option market now. Like the question Madam Blessing asks. I said, let us take the question. Okay, let me go back to that question. Now we are now here. We are in the option market now. Currency options. This is the information for currency options now. Like we explained yesterday, we have 2 variants of currency options. We have over-the-counter currency options. The question we solved yesterday involves over-the-counter currency options. Alternatively, we have exchange-traded currency options. If you look at today's question, examiner was very specific. He said, use over-the-counter currency options. If you look at today's question, examiner just says currency options. He didn't say use over-the-counter or use exchange-traded. But how will I know that I should use exchange traded? There must be contract size. You know, we said exchange traded currency option is similar in many ways to currency futures. There must be a standardized contract size. Once you see contract size given to the option market, what the examiner is texting is exchange traded currency options. There's a contract size attached to it. Now say, what are the steps involved? If you are to solve exchange traded currency option, you are going to follow the steps. For each step, there's going to be mark allocated to it. If I'm to deal with this, I will now start answering myself the 4 questions. So as we don't waste too much time on this. If I'm to answer this now, I will start with the first question. Do we need call or put option? That is the first question. Do we require call or put option? I will now ask myself, what is the company planning to do? Our company is planning to make payments in pounds. That means if I want to make payments in pounds, I need to go and buy pounds. I want to make payments in pounds. That means I need to buy pounds. I need to obtain the right to buy pounds. What is the right to buy under option theory? What is the right to buy under option theory?
It's call option, sir.
Thank you. The company require call option. You are going to state this fact out. The company requires a call option. For stating this fact, examiner will give you a mark. You move to question 2. How many contracts needed? Number of contracts. The number of contracts. Number of contracts. Exposure divided by the contract size. The exposure is 5 million. We are exposed to 5 million payments in 3 months' time. Divided by the contract size. Go back to the question. What is this contract size under option market? 31,250 contract size. I will come back here. The contract size is in pound sterling, 31,250. Please compute number of contract requires. That will give me 160 contracts. For calculating this, there's a mark attached to it. Next question to be answered. Which contract expiring date are we going to use? Which contract expiring date are we going to use? The expiring date to use is that contract that mature after the transaction date. Our transaction date is 3 months' time we are making payment. Which contract mature after 3 months? You now go and look at what you are giving. You have 2 and you want to make payment in 3 months, this will not cover your payments. You have 5-month expiry. Then you are going to select 5-month expiring contract. This is the contract that will cover your payments. You state the facts. You come here. The company we use 5 months expiring contracts. Next, we are dealing with options. There must be exercise price. That was the question she now asked. How will I know which exercise price to use? In this question, you are given 3 exercise prices. Look at the question. I have 1.9000, 1.9200, 1.9400. And we have said we are using call option for 5 months. That means I have to use call option, and it must be 5 months call option. This is the exercise price. These are the premium. The examiner says premiums are quoted in cents per pounds. What you have inside this box is the premium page. Per what? Per the premium page per pounds. And it's quoted in cents per pounds. I will now go back. I want to determine the exercise price to use. How do I go about it? Look at it, please. You now try to do the exercise price. You have exercise price. Because I'm making payments, exercise price plus the premium plus the premium. I have 1.900. I have 1.92, 1.9400. This is given to me in dollars, United States dollar per pound. This is in dollars. All these are in dollars. To us in cents. Now, if I ask the class, you have 5 naira plus 10 kobo. How are you going to add it? 10 kobo. How will you add?
5 plus 10 kobo. That is 5 naira, 10 kobo.
That means that 10 kobo, how are you going to add? You must take that 10 kobo to what? Naira first. You are going to divide the kobo by what? By 100. Will I be able to add like this? Can I add? I have 5 naira plus 10 kobo. Can I add and say this is 15? Would it be correct? This will be wrong. This is in naira. I must do like this. 5 plus, I will now divide this by what? By 100. This will give me 0.1. I will now have 5.10. Is that not, please? What I'm trying to draw here is that the premium is given to us in cents. That is equivalent of kobo. We need to divide that premium by 100 to take it towards dollar amounts. If I have 3.55 divided by 100, what do you have, please?
0.0355.
Yes. That will give me 0.0355. I've taken the premium to dollar side. It becomes 0.0355. The second one is 2.32. That is in cents. If I want to take it to Naira, I will divide by 100. That will give to dollar, I will divide by 100. That will give me 0.0232. The last one is 1.15 cents. Take it to dollar, divide it by 100. That will give you 0.0115. You can now get your total payment cost. Total payment cost. Exercise price plus the premium. Please add 1.9355. Next, 1.9432. Next, 1.9515. Now, we want to make payments. And as a rational customer, you are going to look for what we mean as a rational person. You are going to look for that exchange rate that will minimize your payments. Which one will minimize our payments? Our payment is minimized here. You are going to look for that exercise price that minimizes your payment if you add the premium to it. Our payment is minimized by using this amount. That means the exercise price to be selected is 1.900. Because I'm making payments, I'm going to look for the exercise rate that minimizes my total payments cost. If I take into consideration the premium elements, number one, that is the exercise rate that minimizes our total payments cost. You are done with your 4. We are going to select a size price of 1.900. Next, what do we need to do? The next thing to do is to compute my premium. Calculate your premium. Before I go out of here, you have observed that we added the exercise price to the premium. Because we are dealing with payments, I'm going to incur the payments as well as the premium cost. Payment is an outflow. Premium cost is an outflow. Both are costs. But if you are dealing with inflows, you are going to deduct the premium. I've added the premium here because I'm dealing with payments. If I'm dealing with inflows, I'm going to deduct the premium. I cannot come here. Oh God. Our premium cost. Look how to calculate.
So, Mr. Sioje, can I ask a question?
Please go ahead.
Okay, now, we've gotten the premium. Assuming now for the exercise price, Well, we'll have 1.9000. Maybe it might be the highest of that. And assuming now that our exercise price, the lowest one might be 1.8400, which happens to be the third one.
I'm coming.
Can we select that?
Prosper, please, can you mute? Yes, your question now.
Okay. I said we want to minimize cost because we're making payment, right? So now we've gotten our premium. So I now ask, if under the exercise price column, then that's 1.999 happens to be higher than this other 1.9200 and 1.9400. Assuming now that the third one happens to be 1.8400, which in the exercise column is the lowest. Can we take that to add to the, okay.
What we are saying is, assuming this happens to be 1.9250. When you added the exercise price and the premium, you have 1.9250. Is that what you are saying?
That's not what I'm asking, sir. What I'm asking is that for the exercise price, because it is 1.9, and the exercise price of other ones are 1.92, 1.9400, and all that. So I now ask, assuming now that for the exercise price column, the third one is 1.800, which happens to be the lowest from the 1.9. Can I now take the exercise price of 1.84?
Oh, okay,
plus?
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what determines what we are picking is where we have total lease payment cost. Look at it. If you compare, when we added the premium, we have the total lease payment cost at 1.9355. Is that not, please? Wherever you have the lease payment cost, the total lease payment cost, that is what we are going to select. I didn't just select 1.900. I included the premium. And I observe that exercise price plus the premium, I have 1.9355. This is where I have the lease payment cost. This is where I have the least payment cost. My least payment cost is 1.9355. After I've added the premium, you observe that we check others. This is higher than this. This is higher than this. Where we have the least payment cost is 1. After we have added the premium, we have 1.9355. This is what you are going to select. If you now have 1.8 something here plus the premium, if you added the premium and the premium is greater than others, you can't select 1.8. So what this is what I'm saying. If you have 1.880, but the premium happens to be 0.0752. We now added this together. When we added, maybe this happened to be, maybe there is 1 here. Please add. What do you have? Or 0. Let's even put 0 here. Please add. You now have 1.8800 plus 0.0752. When you added, you have 1.9, 1.9552. You cannot select 1.880. This is higher. Is that clear, please? You can't come and select 1.880 because the premium is higher. That will now make your payment cost to be higher. You are going to look at where you have the least payment cost. We have just introduced this to answer the question from Blessing. It's not part of it. I hope this is clear, please.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Aha. So I need to take this off. So you now calculate your premium. Your premium is, look how to calculate the premium. Number of contracts, 160, multiplied by the contract size, 31,250, multiplied by what you have selected. I've selected this. Multiplied by 0.0355. If you work this out, the premium will give you in dollar. You know, this is cents. I've converted pounds to dollar. You are going to have 177,500. This is the premium. That will be your premium. Then the last aspect. In this question, you are not giving the spot rates in 3 months' time. We are supposed to compare the exercise price with the spot price in 3 months' time. But we are not giving the spot price in 3 months' time. Let me explain that again. When you get to the last step, you are supposed to compare the exercise price with the spot rates. The spot rate on the transaction dates. But in this question, we are not giving the spot rates on the transaction dates. That means there's nothing to compare with. We now assume that the option will be exercised at 1.9000. We now come here, the last aspect, option will be exercised at, you have selected the exercise price, 1.900. Therefore, you can put, therefore, payments in dollars. Payment in dollars is equal to the payment in dollars now. That becomes, we have 5 million pounds. I want to take it to dollar at the exercise rate. Exercise rate is 1.900 multiplied by 1.9000. The payment in dollars, if you check that out, if exercise is going to be 9,500,000. It is not too much. 9,500,000. That will be the payments in dollars. Then your total payment cost. You have premium of 1.177500. You have payment of $9.5. Total payments, we can cut this place out. If you use currency options, total payments we are going to add the two together. 9,500,000 plus 177,500. Total payment in dollars, 9,677,500. You are done with your, this in dollars. You are done with your currency futures. You can now compare the three. Which one is better for us? You are done with your currency options. You can now compare. If I make payments, if we hedge using forward contracts, we can go back to the material because my system is booting. We can go back to the material. Let's compare the three. Look at this. Summary of our results. Summary of our results. If we hedge using forward contracts, the payment cost is 9,669,500. If you hedge using currency futures, the payment cost is 9,657,200. If you hedge using currency options, the total payment cost in dollars is 9,677,500. Now, because I'm making payments, I will look for that hedging option that minimizes my total payments. Which one is better for me to use? Which one is better?
Currency futures.
Currency futures is better for me. Currency futures is better for me to use. Your comments. Based on cost, currency futures offer the best choice. However, this calculation ignores margin requirement on futures and problem of basic risk. You are done with your question. You are done with your question.
Please repeat the assumptions again. You say two things now.
Okay, look at it. Mr. Gabriel. Mr. Gabriel.
Yes, sir.
Some people are making me to do lecture today. Oh my God.
Sorry, sir. They usually ask you to state your assumptions. It's like that is what you mentioned.
People are powerful. Now look at it. Based on cost, currency futures offer the best choice. However, this calculation ignores margin requirements on options, on futures, and problems of basis risk. We are done with the question. Please, I want us to look at question 5. Please review question 5. Solution is also there for us. Question 5 is like 90% similar to question 4. Now, look at what we have done with question 4. Now attempt question 5. When you are done, you can close your eyes to the solution. Now come back and look at the solution to give yourself comfort that you understand what we have treated. All right? Any question, please?
Yes, I have a question, sir.
Please go ahead.
So during the last stage of the calculation, you mentioned something about comparing two figures, and then you said it because it was not given, so that's why you're not comparing the two. So I want to understand, like, I didn't really get that part.
Okay, okay, good. It's a currency options. Under option theory, it's not a must to exercise your rights. Now you have the exercise price to be 1.900 that you have selected. When you now get to the actual transaction date, you are going to have the spot rates. You are going to have the spot rates. You now compare the exercise rates with the spot rates to determine if you are going to exercise your right or not. If the spot rate is better than the exercise rate, you are going to forget about the option contract, because the option contract is a right to buy, not an obligation to buy. It's a right to buy pound sterling at an of 1.900, not an obligation to buy pound sterling. If the spot rate is better than the exercise rate, you abandon the option contract and use the spot rate. If the spot rate is not better, then you can now use your right option. You can now exercise your rights and use the exercise rate of 1.900. But in this particular question, we are not giving the spot rate in 3 months. Now, were you in class yesterday? For those that were in class yesterday, when we get to over-the-counter currency options, we compare two things. Let me refer us back to that question. When we get to currency option, when we're solving question 2, yes, look at it. We didn't just select. Remember, we are giving spot rate in 3 months, and we have the exercise rates. We now compare these two. We observe that exercise price is better than the spot rate. We now say, yes, we are going to exercise our rights. Second scenario, we say, no, we are not going to exercise our rights. We are going to use the spot rate ruling. If you're in class yesterday, that was what we did with this over-the-counter currency options. We have the spot rate in 3 months, and we have the exercise rates. We now compare the two. We now decide whether to exercise our rights or not. But the question we solve today, we don't have the spot rates. There's nothing to compare with. We don't have the spot rates in 3 months. So there's nothing to compare with. I hope that is better. You can also review this question on question 3. Yeah, you can review question. You can review all the question you have here. All right, any other question? All right, may God give us a better understanding. I need to check out of this class.
Thank you.
All right, sir.
Hello, sir. Are you? Hello, sir.
Well done, sir. Good afternoon.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry, please. We're expecting that Priscilla will soon be out. Any likelihood of further class with you?
You are expecting Priscilla?
Yeah, in any moment from Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. Are we expecting any likelihood that we're meeting with you again next week?
Is that Priscilla? Is it for SFM?
Well, no. Well, sorry, it's for those that are offering a case study.
Okay, I thought there's Priscilla for SFM. I was okay, we can
Not quite.
discuss SFM Priscilla, sha.
Maybe I should private chat you after this time.
Please private chat me. Let me shut out of this.
It's all right, sir. Thank you very much.
If you can do SFM, if you can do Priscilla for SFM, I will be there. But we are likely to